Welcome back, everybody. Ready for another deep dive?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Today we're diving into Throne of Secrets. And
Man.
this isn't a book review, we're really going to dissect it and look at, the characters, the world, all the cool stuff.
Yeah, the themes, the hidden meanings.
Exactly.
I'm excited for this one.
Me too. And I think what makes this deep dive unique is that we're just looking at one book this time. So
Right. We can really get into the nitty-gritty.
Exactly. So Throne of Secrets, it takes place in this underworld realm, which is
so cool, by the way.
Yeah.
One of the things that stood out to me most, the world building in this book is just phenomenal.
Tell me about it.
So the underworld, it's divided into these 7 circles, and each one is ruled by an immortal prince.
Right, like a prince of...
A prince of each of the 7 deadly sins.
Oh, wow.
So you have like Prince Wrath and Prince Envy.
Okay.
Prince Gluttony.
Makes sense.
It's so clever.
And each prince, draws their power from...
Yes, from their circle's indulgence in that sin. Oh, that's so interesting.
It's like this really cool way to connect the world's mechanics to the characters and
Right, like their motivations and their conflicts.
Exactly.
It all ties together.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Okay, so for example, we have Prince Axton, the Prince of Gluttony.
Oh, Axe.
And suddenly he stops indulging.
Right. And then all hell breaks loose.
Ice dragons are attacking.
Ice dragons. After a century of peace.
Yeah. So, what's the connection there?
Well, that's the big mystery, isn't it?
Right.
Is it just a coincidence, or is there something more going on?
And the author does such a good job of foreshadowing, from the very beginning.
Oh, yeah, you get this sense that something's off.
Yeah, Axton's abstinence is somehow connected to these attacks.
It's messing with the balance of the underworld.
Oh, that's a good way to put it.
It's like the realm itself is reacting to his actions.
Whoa.
It's really cool.
And then we have our protagonist, Adriana.
Oh, Adriana, she's fantastic.
I love her. She's a gossip columnist.
Mismatch.
Yes. She's got the scoop on everyone.
She's not afraid to, speak truth to power.
No, she's fearless.
Even when that power is a sinfully attractive prince.
Especially when it's Axton.
Right. So they have this rivalry going on.
Oh, yeah. A decade-long rivalry.
Fueled by all those unflattering gossip columns.
And they're very public clashes.
Oh, yeah. They do not get along.
But there's this underlying tension there, right?
Totally. Is Axton really trying to silence her? Or
is it something more?
Is he...
Maybe he's trying to get her attention. It's hard to say.
Because, he's very powerful.
Yeah.
He's very wealthy.
He's used to getting what he wants.
Right. But then there are these moments where he's almost...
tender.
Yeah.
Like when he showers her family with all those gifts at the market.
That was a weird scene.
Right. It's on the one hand, it seems manipulative.
Like he's trying to buy her silence or something.
Or make her feel indebted to him.
Exactly.
But then on the other hand, it's almost like a clumsy attempt to impress her.
Like he doesn't know how else to relate to her.
Yeah. Maybe he's just bad at flirting.
Maybe. But Adriana, she doesn't fall for it.
Oh, no. She sees right through him.
She's determined to uncover the truth about those ice dragon attacks.
And about Axton.
Even if it means, accepting his assignment.
And venturing into his world,
Yeah.
which is full of opulence and luxury and...
temptation.
Oh, yeah. Lots of temptation.
She's a strong character.
She is.
Okay, so speaking of uncovering the truth, we have to talk about the 7 Sins Club.
Oh, yes.
This is where things get really interesting.
It's like a secret society.
Yeah, and it's the one place in the underworld where people can indulge in all his 7 sins.
It's breaking all the rules.
Yeah, normally you can only indulge in your assigned sin in your designated circle.
Right. It's taboo to celebrate other sins outside of their circle.
But in the 7 Sins Club, anything goes.
It's like the author is exploring this idea of
What?
embracing our vices.
Like a safe space for your dark side.
Exactly. But it's also super mysterious.
Yeah, and there are all these strict rules
mandatory masks. No real names.
And you can't talk about the club's activities outside of the club.
It's very hush-hush.
Very secretive.
So Adriana, she starts going to the club.
Of course she does.
For research, for her column.
She's got to get the scoop.
And while she's there, she meets this mysterious masked stranger.
Ooh, intriguing.
I know, right?
And she's drawn to him.
Even though she knows she shouldn't be.
It's forbidden.
Exactly.
But that just makes it more exciting.
But guess what?
Yeah.
Axton is at the club, too.
No way.
Yeah.
What's he doing there?
He's drawn to this masked woman known as Lady F.
Lady F.
He's totally captivated by her.
But he has no idea it's Adriana.
The irony.
It's delicious.
It's like the author is playing with us.
Oh, absolutely.
And it highlights this whole theme of deception that runs throughout the book.
Everyone's wearing masks both literally and figuratively.
Exactly. So you never know who to trust or...
What secrets people are hiding. And then there's the All Sinners Ball.
Oh, yes, the bowl.
This event that both Adriana and Axton have, like...
fragmented memories of.
Yeah, like they remember something big happened.
But they can't quite piece it together.
It's like a puzzle they're trying to solve.
And we're trying to solve it along with them.
Right. And the author uses these glimpses of the ball to hint at this...
deeper connection.
Yeah, like a connection that goes beyond their rivalry.
Like something predates their current animosity.
It's fascinating.
It really makes you question everything you think you know about them.
So we have this intricate world, these compelling characters, and...
And don't forget the ice dragons.
Oh, yeah, those ice dragons.
They're terrifying.
They are. We get these vivid descriptions of their attacks.
Like that scene where Axton and his brothers discover the dragon's kill.
Oh, gosh, yeah. That was brutal.
It's a reminder that the stakes are incredibly high.
Like, this isn't just some fantasy threat.
This is a real danger to the entire underworld.
And then there's Axton's theory that the dragons might be cursed.
Or influenced by witches.
It just adds another layer of mystery to it all.
Like, what's really going on here?
And this is where we're introduced to the hexed quill.
Dun dun dun.
The magical object that can rewrite reality.
And alter memories.
It's a game changer.
It really makes you think about the nature of truth.
And the power of memory.
Like, what if our past could be rewritten?
Would we even know who we are?
That's a scary thought.
It is. And Adriana, she discovers the quill's existence.
And she starts to suspect that it might be connected to the ice dragon attacks.
And to her own hazy memories of the All Sinners Ball.
It's like everything is starting to come together.
But it's still so confusing.
There's so many layers to this story.
It's like an onion.
Lots of layers to peel back.
So we've got the 7 circles, the rivalry, the mystery of the All Sinners Ball, the ice dragon attacks, and the hexed quill.
Phew. That's a lot.
I know, right?
But the author weaves it all together so seamlessly.
I know. It's amazing how she does it.
It's a testament to her skill as a storyteller.
She creates this world that's both fantastical and believable.
And the characters are so well developed.
They're flawed, they're complex.
But they're also relatable.
Even if they are princes of sin.
Exactly.
So I'm curious to hear more about this forbidden romance between Adriana and Axton.
Oh, yes.
We know Axton has feelings for her, but how does their rivalry affect their connection?
That's a great question, and we'll explore that further in the next part of our deep dive.
Okay. I can't wait.
Me too.
So for our listeners out there,
Mm-hmm.
think about this. How much of our perception of reality is shaped by our memories?
That's a good one.
What would you do if you discovered that your past wasn't what you thought it was?
It's something to ponder.
We'll be back soon to continue our deep dive into Throne of Secrets.
See you then. So that Seven Sins Club, it's more than just a place for Adriana and Axton to, hide behind masks.
Right.
It's where their true selves start to emerge.
Yeah, like without the weight of their public personas.
Exactly.
And their rivalry.
It's like they can finally connect on a deeper level. And the anonymity just adds to that whole...
forbidden romance vibe.
Totally.
Like they're not supposed to be dead again.
Which, of course, just makes it...
more intense.
Forbidden.
And all that.
But then the author throws us a curveball.
Oh, yeah.
Adriana's younger sister Eden gets chosen as one of Axton's potential brides.
Oh, wow. Talk about...
awkward.
Yeah, that definitely complicates things.
It creates this whole new level of tension between Adriana and Axton.
And it forces Adriana to confront her own feelings.
Right. Like, is she just trying to protect her sister, or...
Or is there something more there?
jealousy, maybe?
Possibly. I mean, Adriana's a very protective older sister.
Yeah.
But there's no denying that her feelings for Axton are growing.
Even though she tries to deny them.
Exactly. And Axton, despite his arrogance...
and his controlling tendencies.
he's clearly drawn to Adriana.
To her strength, her wit.
Her fire.
It's like their rivalry has become this strange dance.
A push and pull.
Attraction and repulsion.
They can't seem to stay away from each other. Remember that scene in Axton's private study?
Oh, yeah, that was a good one.
The tension was so thick, you could cut it with a knife.
They're forced to work together.
And their physical proximity just fuels their...
unspoken desires.
The author really knows how to build that sexual tension.
Oh, yeah, she's a master of it.
And then Axton confesses his feelings.
Finally.
It's such a vulnerable moment for him.
We see a whole new side of him.
And it makes you wonder if their rivalry was just a way of...
masking their true feelings.
maybe they were just afraid to admit how they really felt.
It's possible.
But let's not forget about the ice dragon attacks.
Right, those are still happening.
And they're getting worse.
More frequent, more brutal.
It's like something is driving them to...
Greater acts of violence.
Axton is torn between investigating the attacks and...
He's protecting his court.
Including Adriana and Eden.
He's got a lot on his plate.
He does. And it's a reminder that...
the fate of the entire underworld is at stake.
Yeah, this isn't just a personal story.
This is about the survival of an entire realm.
And the author does a great job of balancing those different storylines.
The personal and the political.
The romantic and the...
apocalyptic.
Exactly.
It all comes together to create this really compelling narrative.
And then there's that scene where Adriana sees the ice dragon threat firsthand.
Oh yeah, she's in the thick of it.
It's terrifying, but it also sparks this...
determination in her.
Yeah, she's not just a gossip columnist anymore.
She's a woman on a mission.
To help to stop these attacks.
To save the realm.
And then comes the bombshell.
What's that?
The dragons aren't just attacking randomly.
Oh.
They're targeting their own mates and offspring.
That's horrible.
I know, it's heartbreaking, and it adds this whole new layer of
mystery.
Like, what could possibly drive these creatures to turn on their own kind?
It's a question that haunts both Axton and Adriana.
Especially Axton.
He remembers raising Sylvanas.
That dragon hatchling he rescued?
He refuses to believe that dragons are inherently evil.
He's convinced that something is influencing them.
Twisting their nature.
And Adriana, with her investigation into the hexed quill...
right.
She starts to think that maybe the quill is responsible.
Like someone used it to alter the dragon's memories.
To warp their perceptions.
Turn them against their loved ones.
It's a chilling possibility.
It is, and it raises the stakes even higher.
Now they need to find the quill and the paper it was used on.
Not just to restore their own memories.
But to save the dragons.
And maybe even the entire underworld.
It's a race against time.
And all of this is happening while their feelings for each other are...
intensifying.
It's a volatile mix of passion, danger, and uncertainty.
And then Adriana decides to sneak into the dungeons of House Gluttony.
Whoa, that's a bold move.
I know. This is the prince she's been clashing with for years.
The man who's trying to control her.
And she's going into his dungeons.
What's she hoping to find down there?
Well, she encounters this mysterious creature.
What kind of creature?
The author describes it as having a crimson eye.
Creepy.
Yeah, and Adriana thinks it might be responsible for the death of Jackson.
One of the contenders for the Royal Hunting Guild.
Right.
So there are even more dangerous forces at play here.
Than we initially thought.
Like there are monsters lurking in the shadows.
Literally.
And we don't know how they connect to the ice dragons or the hexed quill.
Or if there's something else entirely.
It's a mystery.
And then we have that confrontation between Axton and Envy.
His brother.
Yeah, the Prince of Envy.
Who is up to no good.
It gives us a glimpse into the dynamics between the princes.
They each have their own agendas and secrets.
And Envy, true to his name, seems to be jealous of Axton's power.
He even gives Axton a bag of slumber root.
That flower that can incapacitate demon princes.
What's he up to?
We don't know for sure. But it's clear that he has his own plans.
He's always scheming.
But Axton... he's determined to find a solution that doesn't involve harming the dragons.
He still believes in them.
He remembers Sylvanas, and he knows that dragons aren't inherently evil.
It's admirable.
It is. But time is running out.
The ice dragon attacks are escalating.
The realm is on the brink of chaos.
And Axton is struggling with his feelings for Adriana.
Feelings that he can no longer deny.
And Adriana, despite her distrust of Axton...
she's drawn to his strength and his determination.
And his compassion for the dragons.
It's like they're finally starting to see each other.
Without the filters of their past conflicts.
But is their newfound understanding enough to save the underworld?
That's the question we'll have to answer in the next part of our deep dive.
Okay, listener. As we head into the final act of this story, think about this.
Okay.
If you had the power to rewrite your past, would you? What would you change?
That's a tough one.
And what are the consequences of altering memories?
Both our own and those of others.
It's something to ponder.
Definitely.
We'll be back soon to explore these questions further as we continue our deep dive into Throne of Secrets. So much is happening at the end of Throne of Secrets, it's almost hard to keep up.
It really is a whirlwind of events.
We've got this ancient magic that's wreaking havoc.
The ice dragons are on a rampage.
And Adriana and Axton are finally starting to realize their feelings for each other.
But will they be able to overcome their past and save the underworld?
That's the big question, isn't it?
And the author keeps us guessing until the very end.
Oh, yeah, there are so many twists and turns.
You never know what's going to happen next.
So Adriana, she thinks she's getting close to figuring out who used the hex quill.
She's following the clues.
Right, and all signs point to...
Her friend Riley.
That's right.
That was a shocker.
Total betrayal.
I mean, up until this point, Riley has been like Adriana's closest confidant.
Yeah, they're like besties.
So to find out that she's the one behind all this manipulation...
It's heartbreaking.
It really makes you question everything you thought you knew about her.
Right. Like, was she ever really a true friend?
And Adriana is torn between her loyalty to Riley and...
her desire to expose the truth.
It's a tough spot to be in.
And it's another example of how the author explores these complex themes.
Of trust and betrayal.
And the consequences of our actions.
Even actions that are meant to be helpful.
Speaking of actions with unintended consequences.
Let's talk about the All Sinners Ball.
Okay, so Axton throws this lavish ball.
As a distraction from all the fear and unrest in the underworld.
But for Adriana, it becomes the setting for...
a truth that's far more devastating than she could have ever imagined.
So much happens at that ball.
It's like all the secrets and lies are finally coming to the surface.
Yeah, it's a turning point in the story.
And Riley confesses to using the hexed quill.
Finally.
But her reasons are not what Adriana expected.
She wasn't trying to hurt Adriana.
She was actually trying to help her.
What?
Yeah, Riley thought she was doing the right thing.
Okay, explain this to me.
So after the original All Sinners Ball...
the one that Adriana and Axton have those hazy memories of.
Right, Riley saw how heartbroken Adriana was.
Over Axton.
She wanted to fix things.
That's kind of sweet, actually.
It is, but obviously misguided.
So she used the hexed quill to manipulate events.
To bring Adriana and Axton back together.
But magic is a dangerous game.
Especially ancient magic.
And Riley's actions, while well-intentioned, had some serious consequences.
Yeah, they unleashed a chain of events that threatened the entire underworld.
And let's not forget about those ice dragons.
Right. They're still attacking.
And All Sinners Ball. It's like their grand finale.
They're crashing the party.
Literally.
It's chaos.
Axton and his brothers are fighting to protect the court.
The stakes have never been higher.
And amidst all this mayhem, Adriana has a realization.
What's that?
She figures out that the dragons aren't evil.
They're victims.
The hexed quill has messed with their memories.
Twisted their instincts.
Turned them against their own kind.
It's tragic.
It is. And Adriana knows she has to do something.
So what does she do?
She decides to destroy the paper that the quill was used on.
Wow, even if it means losing her own memories of Axton.
Yes. It's a huge sacrifice.
But it's the only way to save the dragons.
And the underworld.
Yeah, so does it work?
It does. With Eden's help, she destroys the paper.
The curse is broken.
The dragons are free.
But there are still consequences.
Right. Riley has to face the music for her actions.
And Adriana and Axton are left with this.
Blank slate?
They have to rebuild their relationship without the shared memories that once connected them.
It's a bittersweet ending.
But ultimately, it's a hopeful one.
The truth is, out in the open, the dragons are safe, and Adriana and Axton have a chance at a real future together.
Without the interference of magic or manipulation.
I love how the author wraps everything up.
It's a satisfying conclusion to a really complex story.
And Throne of Secrets, it really makes you think about the power of our choices.
And the impact those choices can have on others.
And the importance of forgiveness.
And second chances.
It's a story that stays with you long after you finish reading it.
I agree.
So listener, we'll leave you with this. If you had the power to rewrite your past, would you?
That's a question we all have to answer for ourselves.
And what are the potential benefits and dangers of altering our memories and experiences?
It's something to ponder.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Throne of Secrets.
It's been a pleasure.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep those pages turning.
Happy reading, everyone!